Shall we begin?
Here we are beyond the edit with some special guests today. Aggie, my friend, introduce who you have joining us today.
Yes, so I have Team Orange. I have some of my
Most of
Team
Orange.
Yes, I have Amber,
Hey.
Merna, Bethany, and Phil.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes,
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. Of course, we're going to talk about that bowling challenge on this episode. The whole thing dedicated to the bowling challenge. Unless there's something else you guys want to throw in, feel free. But before we get into your guys' downfall in the challenge, sorry, I was so sad to see you guys go. But before we get, I'm just glad you guys, that we made it through. But I have to give a shout out to Arvin, okay? On our team blue, he did not get the FaceTime he needed on that episode. He was the Mahomes of the challenge for us. He got that pin. He was ice water in his veins. I have to give a shout out because it wasn't enough Arvin and it should have been. So, woohoo! Way to go, Arvin.
Yes, Arvin.
We love Arvin.
You love Arvin.
That's my guy.
We all love Arvin.
He saved us, you guys, because I'm going to tell you, I rolled 2 and missed them both. Okay. So call myself out for stinking in that challenge. Okay. But anyway, so that's enough. I just had to give him a shout out because, he just didn't get the time that he needed. All right. So Aggie, before we get going, just kind of explain what the rules of the game, of the gutter ball challenge was, and a little bit about your guys' first go around before you got into the elimination round.
Yeah, so, okay, you guys are probably going to have to help me out here from what I recall, because, this was like, what, 6? Are we at 6 months now? I don't even know. But the rules of the game,
Almost.
right? The rules of the game was we each had like a pipe or a gutter. I don't know what we call it, but we would have to roll the bowling ball down, and each had the ball or the gutter connected, and make sure that we would hit the bowling ball or hit the bowling pins and stand behind the line and make sure we couldn't touch the line. We had to be behind the line. Now, what I was also thinking about is with the gutter, could that be over the line? That could be, right?
Yes.
That's okay.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be over the line, but our feet could not. And we also had to rotate. So if you were in the front, you would roll the pin or roll the ball down and then make your way to the back.
And you had to hold on to your own gutter.
Yes.
So you were like dragging that everywhere with you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So first of all, people don't know at home that if something went wrong in a challenge, that a voice comes over. Her name was Emily, and she'd say, "Stop, stop, stop," during a challenge. And that actually happened for you guys in this challenge. And that was it. The stop, stop, stop happened the first time, right? Not the elimination round.
Yes, in the first heat. Mm-hmm.
And what did they stop you guys for?
Well, in the first heat, from what I recall, and someone please correct me if I'm wrong, talking about our plan from the self-designated leader, it came up with an overly complicated plan for a very simple game. In that time, we were all to share our ideas as a team. That time that was used to learn a strategy, but we used that time to just learn this plan and didn't really get to do anything else.
I would say we didn't have a lot of time to strategize.
That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm like just trying to think of how to say this. Like the whole time was to learn this plan and didn't get to strategize. And that was kind of the end of discussion. Does anybody kind of have anything to come off of that? Like Amber, how did you feel right out of the gate? Did you feel like you can contribute to creating a plan, or did you feel like your voice was heard in that?
Yeah, I just feel like I just felt like he didn't want to hear us out. And it was just like so many. I could see if it was like one person kind of expressing confusion, but when it was like more than 2, 3, and we're all looking at each other like, how are we going to do this? And then I was just confused on why we would go into a game confused, like why the person didn't want to, you know, or why they still would want to go with the plan if they saw half their team was like not still connected. So just like
But
I just felt like unheard. So it's just like I wish I could have got my ideas out more. I wish like three of us could have been enough to be like, okay, this may not work.
Hmm.
to step in and say, Phil seems like a guy who's like, very level-headed, right? Very calm, a person who would really just like, Phil, why didn't you step up and be like, all right, guys, I'm going to lead this group because to me, you really are like a natural leader.
Well, I appreciate your vote of confidence, Danny. However, so I look at it a little bit different, and I was certainly confused. I'm not going to say I wasn't. I was probably the most confused, just because I can have a hard time to grasping onto some things sometimes. I do like the outside the box thinking, and in my recollection, a plan was presented, and it was said, "Are you guys willing to work twice as hard as everybody else?" And we all said yes. And then the plan was presented. And then we had a choice. And that plan was then, asked. And we did agree together as a team that we were willing to try it. However, it was just, we were all very confused.
Mhm.
And
I want to interject there. I think before we even had time to talk about the plan and understand it, we were pulled out for interviews. Like, because we were the last team chosen, like told, everybody else had time to strategize, all the other teams. And then we're pulled in, and then they're like, okay, now you need to come out for interviews before we
Mm.
even had time to like even talk about this. And so it was like, okay, I guess we're doing this. And then, it just happened. We're like, all right, well,
Yeah, I agree. I feel like right after the interviews, if we would have like actually stood in a circle and said, okay, who agrees with this plan, who doesn't? I think most of us would have agreed that it doesn't work, and then we would have went with the original. I just feel like
Yeah.
that just threw us in a loop. We were doing interviews, trying to think about the game, how's the strategy going to work, rules, rules, rules. Like, of course, you got to kind of agree to it because the game's starting now.
Right.
well, yeah, I mean, again, part of the way I'm thinking about it is, we just came out of the water challenge. I don't know who was in, the water challenge, but I was on the team that it was really close, and we saw another team. I think it was David's team, and they absolutely, and it was a completely out of the box way of thinking, and they just smoked everybody. I
yeah.
mean, it wasn't even close. So, I mean, I think there's something said for trying something new, and we realized that the first go around it didn't work, and we were quickly saying, let's change it up for the second one, which we did.
Well, the refs told us we couldn't do it that anymore. They said, you have to stop this strategy.
Yeah, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
Did they say that?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
even
they told us
hear.
they were like, hey,
Yeah.
no,
They were
you
like,
need to
no
do
more
it the
moving.
original
You
way.
have to stay in your order. No running around.
Well, so
Yeah,
at the
but then I also thought about this too.
There were some other
They
teams. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I did see some other teams move around that were still like that. There was like a lot of things that didn't get penalized, like that I saw play back.
But and I don't mean to jump the gun. I mean, Aggie, I do think you got a little unfair edit there on the last show that I saw. I mean, Aggie actually rolled the winning in. We started celebrating. Because she hit it dead on. I mean, there was a lot of us that missed in a row. I being one of them. We missed one after another. So I don't remember if it was in the first one or the second one. Aggie, when the first penalty, was that in the first one or the second one?
It was in the first one.
In the first one. So I mean, it was close. It's too bad, right? Because it's one of those things that we actually knocked down more pins than anyone else between both of those games. We knocked down 4 more pins than anyone else.
Yeah.
We don't see
Okay.
it on the.
So just to be clear, so when Ken says in the show, you see Ken say, Aggie looks confused. To me, Aggie, you didn't look confused. You looked frustrated with what was being presented as the strategy, right? You were more.
That's how I look when it's my turn to do the dishes. All right.
Yeah.
That's how I look. I wasn't confused.
Yeah.
I was not confused.
Yeah, you didn't look confused to me. And then, so you actually scored what would have been your winning pin, but your foot was on the line, so they took that back. Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay. So then when you watched the elimination round, Maze knocks down the winning pin, and I see her foot clearly on the line. Okay. Just that was just me. Or maybe if you replayed like NFL style and you really get down in there, maybe it wasn't. But to me, it looked clearly on the line. So it's not May's fault because May delivered a nice shot, right? I mean, she knocked the pin down. And if her foot had been behind the line, she probably still would have knocked the pin down. But what's frustrating about that is that's just one of those beyond the edit moments where you're like, hold on a second. We wouldn't even be in this situation had those rules upheld for us our first time around. And
Uh-huh.
that's what I thought was very frustrating for me for you guys. That was the most frustrating thing. And then I know with you guys, it was just strategy and chaos. And we've always said like the key to these challenges, because they are simple, even though there was a lot of moving parts to that one, is to keep the strategy simple. And I couldn't clearly tell what your guys' strategy was when watching. I could just hear, you're going to do this, and then you're going to put that down, and then you're going to go get this, and then you're going to pick up that. And I was like, wait, whoa, wow. Which I didn't know till then.
Far
It has
more
to be frustrating.
complicated.
I
You
think if we had time to practice, that strategy could have been awesome, but there was no
Yeah,
time
I
to
don't doubt the
practice.
strategy.
But for the second round, I think what sank us in that one is we just started to panic. Everybody
Mhm.
started to panic and we just started dropping the ball and missing,
And missing. Yeah, I think we missed 4 times in a row. I mean, truth be told, let's
Yeah.
be honest, you know.
Well, and that is the other
I
thing.
was
I
just
mean,
happy they showed my winning or like the shot where I got a pin down because I only had a chance to roll it once in each game. And they showed the one where I got it down. So I was happy about that.
well, I
Love that for
yes,
you.
because there were things definitely on your guys' end that you could have done better, right? We saw dropped balls, missed pins, like all those things can make up for bad calls. Just like we say in sports, bad calls are going to be part of the game, and you have to learn to adjust or like move on to the next play. And it's always easy to point fingers at refs or other people. It really is, and you have to stop and look and go, okay, well, we could have done this better. That would have made a difference. But really, for you guys to overcome that, you really would have had to have like a perfectly clean game at that point.
Yes, but then
Right.
there's also the point of morale, right? I don't know how to say it, but there's steps to get to that point. And I think from the very beginning of how things played out and how discussions were had, you know, ladies, do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's
I know
a
exactly
way
what
that
you're
you
saying.
perform. If the person who wants to be in charge is treating everybody respectfully, you're going to feel good. You're going to play well. You're going to go in there and you're going to help, put your head
Yeah,
held
it
high.
helps with team morale for sure.
The
Yeah.
team morale is up. You're going into
Mhm.
that second heat and the morale is not high.
I think another thing that was hard for our team also was that we were in the second group that did their first rounds. So we went right from playing that game and then having things reset on us, which is really demoralizing. Like you just are like, oh my gosh, you're so disappointed from those things. And then you're told you have to do it a certain way that you hadn't been doing it before. And then we went right into playing the elimination round, right? So there
Yep.
was no time to like sit around and talk about it or strategize or anything. It was just kind of like our team was made, we played, then we had to play again. And it was just like boom, 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 where there was no time to discuss anything. I think that wasn't helpful for our team.
No.
Yeah.
That we were in the second group that did their first rounds. So we went right from playing that game and then having things reset on us, which is really demoralizing. Like you just are like, oh my gosh, you're so disappointed from those things. And then you're told you have to do it a certain way that you hadn't been doing it before. And then we went right into playing the elimination round, right? So there
Yep.
was no time to like sit around and talk about it or strategize or anything. It was just kind of like our team was made, we played, then we had to play again. And it was just like boom, 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 where there was no time to discuss anything. I think that wasn't helpful for our team.
No.
Yeah.
How frustrating it can be over these silly games is because you're out, right? There's no fighting for our life. Like you lose, you're done. And so it makes it so hectic.
Yeah. I think it was a combination of pressure and not trying to hold resentment. I don't know, maybe it was for me personally.
Mhm.
That maybe that's just how it felt for me. Not resentment, but a little bit of resentment or at least a little bit of frustration or um and then mixed with fear, a little bit of anger cuz it's almost like for me personally, I just felt like I one was not heard and two the constant asking of can you please explain it again? Can you please show me again? Can you and um kind of being talked to in a way where you kind of feel stupid. Does that make sense? Like, what don't you get? But in other words, of like, hello, I'm saying we do this, step one, two, three, and four. And then you're still like, but okay, I'm not getting it because that's not how Emily, stop, had explained it to us, right?
Yeah.
So when we're hearing a whole new method, whole new strategy on how to do this, it was so incredibly frustrating and just it was so painful to watch last Wednesday, just having to see that and the fact that they didn't even show that part. That was just so it was really, really it was it there was like a couple of days after that where I just felt like I was off. And I think overall, and I'm not even trying to play it off as like, oh, it's a women thing. No, but it's a women thing. Um, Sometimes we're not heard. A lot of the times we're not heard. A lot of the times we're shut up or and it's no disrespect to the person that I'm, talking about, but I think there was just so much going on in that moment that somehow it happened that way, but it also felt that way too. I'm probably not making sense. Am I making sense, guys?
You are making
Yeah.
I'm
sense.
trying to
Yeah.
choose my words very wisely.
I think you're sharing, Marna, how you feel, and I don't think there's anything wrong with anyone sharing how they feel
Yeah.
and how they take it. I do just want to add. Yeah, go ahead. No, Meredith, I mean, go ahead.
No, basically, I'm trying to keep it respectful. This was months ago. I'm holding no resentment now. I think it was just in that moment of like side eyeing, like, dang it, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for that switch up, you know? But um now when I look back at it, of course, like watching the show kind of just brought up all these feelings again. Just very temporarily though, of course, because it's like watching the game, right? You're watching a sports game and you're just like, damn it, like what just happened? But overall, I mean, it happened the way it was supposed to happen, you know? But it definitely was a huge eye opener for me, and it taught me a lot about speaking up and saying no. But then I also think about if we did just come right out and be like, I don't want to do this, would that have changed anything? Let's
Right.
be honest. Would that have changed
Yeah.
anything?
Well, that's what
I
my
think
point.
everybody just, yeah. Go ahead, Philip.
No, I'm sorry. I think I got a little lag here. So I was just gonna say, I mean, the second game we didn't do it that strategy. You know what I mean? And so we do have to be clear that it wasn't just the strategy that didn't work for us, unfortunately. I'm kind of looking at it as a coach and what I do with my other teams. I mean, we can say it was this person or it was that person, but this is a team game, and unfortunately the outcome of team games isn't just on one person, right? So I think we need to be honest, with that. But I get what you're saying. We were frazzled, we didn't have time, we didn't communicate, I certainly didn't understand everything. We didn't in that first game have it. The second game, we knew what we were doing because it was just back to a normal plan of what we were thinking. It was just going to be, what Emily had said. And unfortunately, the way it went down, it still didn't end up coming to pass because, of a few things there, right? There was a few gameplay moments that didn't happen, and then we had a penalty again. And if you look at those pins, how they were, they did show that part. The way our pins fell and the way they were with pins in front, it was
Uh,
challenging to try to get to those pins.
Wait, what was
I,
the penalty in the second game? What was that one?
One of the players ended up going twice.
No,
So,
that was the first game.
Yeah.
oh,
That
that
was
first game. Oh, were you okay? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got that
I don't
backwards.
think we had any penalties in the second game. I think we just started panicking and we were rushing too much. And
mhm.
because we were rushing too much, trying to be fast,
Oh, kind of
it
hooping the
just
first one.
kept falling off the pipes and
And we weren't in the same order as we were in the first one, which is what I mentioned. I'm like, "We're not in the same order, so we won't really we don't know the other person's rhythm,"
Mm.
is something that I mentioned.
Deb, I'm the one who changed that order because I went to the back because the one shot I had in the first round, I missed it. After you
Mhm,
hit your ball down and then, the pin down and then reset it, I was right after you and I
mhm,
missed it. And so I was like, well, I want to go like later after everybody else knocks the pins down. So I
mhm.
kind of like
Oh.
moved myself back in the line.
Mm.
And then I ended up hitting the one I did get. But, you
It
know,
it sounds like Myrna, you were saying, you know, it's feelings are validated, right? Like they
Right.
stand for something, and you guys didn't feel heard, and in a team is successful when you have great communication and you have the right
Mhm,
chemistry. And you guys just didn't have the right chemistry put together, and they are random selected teams, so that's no fault to you guys. And even like some of your other teammates might have been better, on a different team. I mean, that's just kind of the key to a great team, is having that chemistry, and you guys just didn't have that chemistry.
100%.
I like that when you can be eliminated at your own hand, right? Like, I just stunk at this challenge. You can go
Yeah.
out feeling like, "Dadgummit, that was my fault. I was stinky, but
Yeah.
okay, that's it." But when it's a situation like it can be in the games, that can be really frustrating, and, as competitors like we all are, kinda hard to move on from sometimes, truly. I'm still trying to move on from Winners at War. That was a whole debacle. It was awful.
And I just want to clear that up real quick because I don't know if how I was explaining it was coming out, coming off in a way where I'm blaming others. No,
Oh, no.
but I'm saying that
mm-mm.
how it initially began, how it started, is what catapulted the rest of the things that kind of followed. And that didn't feel good. I think that kind of threw everybody off. It caught everybody off guard. Um, but yeah, I'm not blaming anybody for I mean, we lost. We dropped the ball how many times? We messed up, we got confused, like, yes, but ultimately what I'm saying is I think it was just the original um interaction of like, all right, this is what are you guys ready to put in your yeah, heck yeah, we're ready to put in our 110%. Okay, well, this is how we're gonna do it. What do you mean? I think that is what kind of it was like a domino effect into to how we played basically. Um, that's
Yeah.
really it.
Kinda
It's
like
not it's
that. I didn't think you were really pointing fingers. They're just saying that's that chemistry
yeah.
problem, and that's a
Yeah,
major. You'll see teams. I'm a big sports fan. You guys know that.
yeah.
In the NCAA tournament, you'll see these little tiny mid-major teams knock off a blue blood, and they do it because you know what? You have a whole bunch of superstars over on this other team that can't get their chemistry together, and then all of a sudden you have this little mid-major team that's got the chemistry, and they have a Cinderella run, and it's all because of good leadership and chemistry, and that's important. It can beat talent any day.
Yeah. Understanding as well and communication. 100. Yeah. Now that makes complete sense. But overall, you guys, I had a blast. I think 99 to beat has been one of the best experiences of my life. Like even you know, despite the heartbreak of how it went down and how we had to go home and all that, at the end of the day, I can honestly say that I was more sad about leaving you all behind
Yep.
than losing out on the money. Listen, I can go
Yeah.
be a millionaire tomorrow, God willing,
Yeah.
or a year from now, whatever. Money is money. Money comes and goes. That's has nothing to do with that. Of course, was I working my butt off to get that? Yeah. But it was more so of like, ah, my journey here has ended with you guys. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this again with you guys. That is why, and they didn't show much of it, but I was a mess. The way I was crying, the way I was so sad. And then I think in turn, in that very moment, it was very like side eyeing, like, if only we did it.
Yep. Sure.
It was,
Frustrating.
it
Yep.
was, yeah, very frustrating, but
I feel like
I
this is like
really, really,
this is like a post-game press conference is what we're having now. So, you can
Yeah.
talk about all of it, And yes, it was like one big party at 99 to beat. We all had so much fun. And that really, truly, whether you were the first eliminated
That's
or you go all the way, you hate to see the game end because it's just fun and everybody's fun. And really, for the most part, 100 people got along perfectly. It was amazing.
And
Yeah.
for me, in my exit interview, I told them, I was like, I just wanted to play more games. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I look around the circle and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many more people here who I would bet on them winning before me. Right. But I just wanted to be there and play more games.
Yeah.
Like, that was the fun part for me. And it was like, I mean, I had my big family there with me, Philip's my brother in law. And for me, it was great, like getting to know my brother-in-laws more and seeing how they treat my sisters. It was great. Which, by the way, I have to do a little shout out for the Slinky game. Okay. I wasn't there, but I was at the hotel later and I heard all about it. And we were like, oh, they're going to paint you in such a bad light, Justin. Like, and the poor guy, he's been like raked over the coals on the internet now.
My goodness.
Yeah.
My
He totally
goodness.
did, but yes. Anna and Justin did put a little blurb out on their social media telling the real story, so if anybody wants to see it, they can go watch.
To the whole reason why we came on the show, I didn't want to go on national television. I mean, I teach martial arts for a living. It's all about empowerment, helping from young children to at-risk children to adults to women to rape prevention. I mean, this is it. So, my brand, what we do is a positive one. Uh, However, as soon as I heard it was against the brother-in-laws, it was on. I said, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
And then my kids, oh my gosh, I mean, this is it. So,
That's
oh
fun.
man,
In one of
That's
the
so cool.
interviews, I said, I don't care when I go out as long as I beat Philip. And then we ended up on the same team going out. My husband's like, well, now you can always blame him for it. I was like,
however, we did go to Greece after, just saying. So
we
no,
did.
we basically, it was what we call our therapy island. We went there, and the whole time in Greece, we are trying to enjoy it, but we were just
We're like,
consoling it.
oh, it's so beautiful here. The food tastes so good. I'm so depressed.
Oh my
You got to
goodness.
come 99 to beat.
Hey,
Well, I
Amber,
do wanna yeah, oh,
I
you're
feel
about
like
to ask
I
Amber a
never really
question
got
too.
I got a chance to know your story, but I wanted to ask you, like, what was your why for doing 99 to beat?
Um, I honestly just wanted to do I sing too, so I'm just kind of like living the Cinderella story, doing the dishes in the morning at the restaurant and then doing the gigs at night. And I just followed like a casting director and like I never been opposed to reality, but I definitely know like I'm half comedian, half singer. So I was like, I might as well just go ahead and just try this. So I'm glad this was the first show, but my story is just I grew up in Hagerstown, Maryland, small town. Went to Howard University a little bit, ran into financial aid issues, stopped working, got a restaurant job, stayed consistent throughout the years. Then I started picking up singing, wrote my first song like 2 years ago, ended up winning 2 awards for that. Then I started
Hey.
getting little gigs around town. I'm over here singing, boom, boom, boom. Um, and that's just what I've been doing. I just kept my restaurant job because it's super flexible with what I have going on in my outside life. And that's just what I'm doing right now. So I have so much like availability to be doing crazy things like
Yeah.
this. So
Wait, what
yeah.
awards? What awards did your song
Yeah,
win?
so it's called the Whammy Awards. So it's kind of like the Washington Grammys, just for the DMV area. But I won Best R&B Song of the Year and Best R&B Artist. So that
Wow.
was off my first song, and I was
Yeah,
like, that's all the
girl.
validation I need to just keep pushing this way,
Yeah.
when things don't work out. But I did go to school for broadcast journalism, so I wanted to be a reporter, all that good stuff. But God
Well,
has a plan.
you still can be a
She
reporter.
does.
Mhm.
For
The
sure, I know
talent.
that, longevity in that field.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, and you
But
know what? Would you do another reality show?
percent. Oh my gosh. I started applying the second I
Good,
got back from London.
good.
Now they're like, oh, you're in this contract, you're in this bind. I'm like, ah, I forgot.
Yeah. Well, that
So
that will end soon,
Yeah.
and you just never know what doors that will open, and so watch your guys' careers, continue. It's fun. I think maybe Bethany, Philip, and I can all, agree that that is fun to see some of these young people and see where your journey from here on, to see where you guys end up is gonna be a lot of fun. So,
And you guys sound beautiful. Like,
thank you.
when we were kind of, I don't know, just standing around somewhere, you guys would be just singing together, and I was like, "Oh, wow."
Oh, I loved when you guys would
Wait,
sing. Oh
who?
my
Me and
gosh.
Amber? You're
Yeah,
talking
Merna
about
and
Tim.
Amber, you guys were, like, singing together and harmonizing so well, and I
Yes.
was just like,
We
"Wow."
we have a 99 to beat song coming soon, and we
Oh,
kept
okay, you
singing
do.
it to Tom, but he never wanted to, he's like, okay, just here, let's do it like next week. Let's do it. Let's do it another
Give
day.
me 10 more minutes. Get 10. I'll be right back. I'll be right.
I will say yes, it is a group effort. These are simple games, which I think also should be simple strategies. I will say that is my opinion. And I think there are ways to relay messages or ideas or thoughts um, in a way that I think should be respectful. And if you choose to lead, you should also choose to listen.
yep.
And you should
Yep.
also choose to listen to others and open the floor to everyone. I think that's
I
how that's
Yeah,
how you lead.
yeah.
Yep.
And that's how
And
you
I
should
think
lead.
there, like, looking back at it, and I could be remembering wrong, but I just don't think there was time for us to, like, even process and then disagree. It was just kind of like the still trying to understand when they said, "Okay, line up," you
Is
know,
that the first or second heat?
the first
The first
heat.
heat, I would agree with that. I mean, we literally had
Yeah.
seconds. I was not in there for more, 5 seconds. I was out for an interview. I came back. We were lining up.
Yeah. And
It was like
like
nothing. What's the plan for?
everybody kept getting pulled for these things, and it just wasn't, we couldn't even be together as a team to have that time.
I think
Yeah.
you
Amber,
said
how are
something
you
important,
feeling?
Aggie.
How did you feel after everything, at the end of it?
Me,
After
right?
after the second heat? Like, just
Oh, at the end, I mean, like Myrna was saying, like it was just a little bit of frustration. Like I never had like anything against the strategy. It was just the timing and like the confusion. So it was just more so like, dang, if we didn't do it this way, that's all I'm thinking. I'm like, come on, we could have. But
Mhm,
I know there was other factors into us, taking the L. But
mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I felt the red buzzer, it was like the best feeling in
How
my
are you
life. I'm
saying
not
that?
gonna lie. Like beside the game, I was just like, I am so ready to go home. My voice was gone. I was dehydrated. I wanted some real food, like
What'd you
some
say?
bigger portions. I was like, you know what? It's my time. I looked at Myrna right when the buzzer went off, and I was like, it's our time. Like, I
Yeah,
was
she
so
did.
ready.
I remember you saying,
But
you're like, "I'm gonna go to sleep."
yeah, I was like, Kevin, I should have got some sleep because I
Well,
was not sleeping out
Man,
there. So, you
I
yeah, two
remember
know.
hours a night,
I remember
2 hours.
everybody surrounding Aggie and Aggie being like, "I'm fine. I'm really fine." You could tell she's, like, frustrated, but, like, "Okay, I'm not gonna bawl. I'm okay."
Like, at the end of the day, all you can do is your best.
Is there anything else you guys wanna add about the challenge you felt like you haven't gotten the chance to contribute or your time on 99 to beat?
I will say I had a feeling that that was the day. I woke up that morning and I think I told you too, Amber. I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah,
Am.
I think you did.
Something feels off. I don't feel right. Something's off. And then I called my sister. And at that point, we're 8 hours ahead of California time, the time zone. And she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't know. I woke up feeling weird. I don't know. I just have a bad feeling. So, I mean, that's probably not even relevant to mention, but now
No, no,
I
no.
was
It,
just
it
thinking
felt
about it
it
right
felt like the
now.
day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I was very, very freaking sad, but also relieved because the pressure, you guys, that was crazy.
Yep.
Just like what you're saying. And we were dehydrated. We were hungry. And I was just ready to come back home and see my mom, my brother, my cats, my sister. But I just want to say I love you guys. And I'm so, so, so blessed, so grateful to have met you all. I I almost got fired from my job just to be on this show. And by the grace of God, it worked out. And I just
Good.
knew that it was meant to happen no matter how we went out. I love you guys. And I really hope that we continue to just keep our bond, those who are friends with each other, those who do talk often. Um, and I'm just really, really, really excited. And I'm really, I cannot wait to see what is in store for you guys, for all of us. So so thank you
Yeah.
guys.
We love you too, Merna.
Yeah.
But hey, would you guys
Oh,
all do
God.
it again if you had the opportunity?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
next year,
Season
Anytime.
we would
two.
do not, you would.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Ready for
Less time
redemption.
at the pub, more
But
sleep.
my yes, I'm coming with someone. I don't know about 12 family members, but I'm coming with someone.
I'm coming with less. No offense, Bethany. I'm coming with less, and we're going to go in there. I just wanted to add, and I kind of chatted about this before, but I hate to lose. I mean, this is the big reason. They wanted a big competition. I mean, family games. I mean, I hate to lose. Competition, martial arts. It's what I did growing up. Uh, but what was so interesting and so great, and what I brought away from this experience is because it wasn't winning first, second, or third. It was the whole, you just can't be last, right? How that shift kind of changed your way of thinking, and what a life lesson to be learned there. That if we can not always be about, we're better than this person and this person, we're about helping other people, not be last. It really just changed, my whole way of just processing competition. And, I mean, one thing I know about competition, isn't just about, seeing how good somebody is, or, making someone better at something. It's about revealing the character of the individual, what they've learned up to that point. And I think in putting 100 strangers, well, at least, what, uh,
Yeah.
Minus
78 of
12.
them together.
Around there.
So together, what we were able to accomplish and do was far beyond, I think, probably what any of them, even production, had thought. Yeah. So yeah, I love all of you too. I mean, it's great. I think all of us coming together is a great experience, and regardless of how we ended up, it's sad. Hopefully, we'll go on to the next one a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bethany, anything
Agreed.
else you want to add?
No, I feel like I added a lot during this podcast. I would 100% do it again. It was so much fun. My husband was supposed to come with me, and I would drag him along. I would make him quit his job next time. Not really, but no, he couldn't. He couldn't come because of work, and that was really disappointing. But I would absolutely do it again. It was so much fun, and it was so much fun getting to know the contestants and talk with them and
Yeah.
do everything with them. And I do feel badly the way, I think Phillip mentioned it before, the way they kind of painted Aggie as like the one who lost the game when they like showed the thing. I was like, no.
Yeah.
um so I was like, poor Aggie. Uh
You're not the
Yeah,
reason
we
why
got
we
the record
lost that.
straight.
yeah.
He's like the 99 to beat star, okay? Like, even though you
Yes.
were
Yeah.
eliminated last, like,
Okay, ma'am.
what storyline are they gonna develop after you? I don't know, 'cause
I know. It was like Aggie and
that was a
Julian
good
over
one.
there.
Oh,
I was
boy.
starting to wonder if I was even on the show for a while. I'm like, did I go?
All my friends are like, haven't seen you on there. I mean, I see you in the background, maybe hugging someone, and they're like, on that lunchbox challenge, yeah, we saw you back there for a while. We were a little worried. It's like, yep. Hey, by the way, on that one, I'm glad that beyond the edit moment there, okay, I'm glad they didn't show the dummy down version that I was a part of. I'm glad they just made it look like I got it finally. I'm like, thank God they didn't have to show that I had a less roll of tape, like smaller roll of duct tape and a new lunchbox because I couldn't get the first one done. Well,
Well, hey, none of us know what you're talking about.
I know
you what?
we were all
Oh,
eliminated.
I know. Yeah,
there.
but you guys all heard about it, okay? And I'm glad they didn't show that.
Rub it in, Danny. Rub it in.
All right, Aggie, anything you
No.
want to add, girl, before you wrap it up?
Well, I mean, even though this challenge ended our journey, I'm proud of what we all did, and this is really fun to share this full circle moment with all of you guys. I love all of you guys, and thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And you guys all hold a special place in my heart, and I hope we
Yeah.
can all continue to stay in contact. So thank you so much for coming on. It
Absolutely.
means so much to the both of
Thanks
us.
for the invite,
Thank
Thank
you
you
Aggie.
for
guys.
having
Thank you, Aggie.
us.
Hang out with
Yeah.
us
Thank you.
anytime.
Thank you guys. And
I love you guys.
Sure.
Sure,
awesome.
absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely,
Have a
guys.
great
Thank you for having
Sunday.
me.
Bye. Love
Bye.
Until
you all.
next time.